Well, of course, I'm Glynn Jackson. Celebrating 20 amazing years, I don't know what 20 years feels like. It's just like, it kind of feels like, you know, you've been doing something so long that I probably would be doing this for free if I didn't have to eat. I mean, it's so very rewarding. I think the biggest part when we created Golden Scissors some 20 years ago was really about an opportunity to bring the communities together, which gave stylists and barber and beauty professionals the opportunity to kind of really showcase their talents and really take it to the next level. I could kind of remember our first show. We were in Bowling Air Force Base in Washington, D.C., and I think we must have had about 75 people. And I called my mom and I was like, oh my God, Ma, there must be about 1,000 people in here. I didn't even know what a show was. I didn't even know what a hair show was. And now to say that we've gone to almost 8 different countries. We've done shows as big as 9,000 people. We've done boutique shows. We've done African American. We've done Latino. We've had an opportunity to kind of cover the world on this amazing thing. And it's amazing that when you think about hair, how hair kind of interwoven of us all together. We're kind of integrated by our hair, be black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It is an opportunity to come together and exchange. I'm very thankful some 20 years later for the journey because it's been amazing. I can remember a stylist several years ago who at the JW Marriott at that time, when we first started kind of doing the program, had dyed his model hair using a particular red, vibrant red color, and went into the men's bathroom and decided that he was going to wash it out in the men's sink, which was a porcelain ceramic that turned rose pink. And the hotel is like, by the way, do you know where you might could buy 2 new sinks? Because the sinks are now pink, you know? And so I'm calling him and like, oh, by the way, the hotel wants an additional $4,000. And do you know how we can resolve this? He says, I just talked to my uncle and my uncle said not to get involved. Not to get involved? You the one ruined the sink. What are you talking about? Or the time that the gentleman called us and said, Glynn, we know your work, it's super great. I want to see how we can create wow factor. He came out of nowhere and became our corporate partner for the year. He wasn't even a huge, big company, but he saw the value. He kind of really saw the value in what we were doing, and he wanted to support it. You know, some people think, you know, when I started doing this, I really did it as an opportunity to provide voice. You know, because a lot of these people were either too short or too full-figured or too petite or too old or to make the fashion shows of New York or Milan, but they still were beautiful. And with work and, you know, glamorizing, you can make anybody, take anybody from a duck and turn them into a swan. And it just became like a sport, you know, taking everyday women and kind of showcasing their inner beauty, and the show provided that platform. I remember when the opportunity to be on television for the first time on PBS Egg, the hair show, when it was all about hair. Again, we were at the JW Marriott, but it was an opportunity for us to reach millions of people. And soon later, a piece would present itself from TV1, Tangles and Locks. At that point, I thought I'd made it. I mean, finally, the show would be on a national dial. We would reach millions of people. People would see our story, and the rest would be like a fairy tale. Well, didn't happen. Soon after would come VH1, and that was our biggest deal. I mean, we had made it. We'd crossed the finish line, and the show at that point, I was going to be Oprah. That was it. I had convinced myself. I said, Glynn, you know, this is your big calling. You're going to be the next Oprah. So I'm calling all of my friends and my family. I'm calling my mom. I'm like, Ma, I'm about to be Oprah, you know. So got to VH1 in New York. I mean, I could hear kind of like my heart beating loudly in the elevator as we were going up the stairs. And I remember that, you know, we walked up the stairs, we got in the elevator, and we were just super, super excited. I was super excited about it. Finally, VH1, I'd never been to the building before, and I'm really at this point thinking it's going to be about me. You know, little did I know that they had another plan that had very little to do with me. But at any rate, I was at the meeting, so the guy was like, I want a show like this. And I'm like, God, those ladies' legs look like cottage cheese. I wouldn't even do a show like that. I know better. So I'm like, I don't think I want to do that kind of show. So finally, we kept going back and forth through lawyers and litigation and all of this stuff to make the deal right, you know, because this was going to be the next big thing. It was going to be like Project Runway, but it's going to be hair, and I'm going to be the host. I convinced myself. So I ended up going to LA, and I had never seen the transformation of a TV pitch or pilot done in a weekend. I mean, a whole salon built out, a whole battle on stage, and me and, of course, the former America's Next Top Model, Takara, was the host of the event. I mean, and I guess I would have been called the kind of half-cock, half-shift Tim Gunn, or someone who didn't say anything. I mean, so I'm looking like, okay, so Takara has a script, but where's my script? What do you mean Glynn Jackson doesn't have a script? Who has ever heard of that? I mean, I'm the host. I'm the star here. Why don't I have a script? Oh, Mr. Jackson, just be colorful. Well, what the hell is colorful without a script? And so I'm like, oh my God, my big dreams are like going down the drain. I have no script. I'm just being colorful. I don't have no speaking parts. I mean, what is this? And so even though the show didn't quite feel right, it still was like closer to a goal to kind of do this TV thing. We had paid our dues. We had set standards. We worked with everybody. And needless to say, the last day of the taping, I said to myself, you know what, Glynn? This is not about you. It's about a much bigger picture. So go in there, knock them dead, kill them on the set, make it work, and make the best of whatever. So I went in there and I made the best, and I mean, and I think I did the best possible job that I could do. I mean, it was being produced by 3 Ball. These are the people, the creators of The Biggest Losers. I mean, finally we had an opportunity to walk on the set of CSI. I mean, I'd seen almost every episode. I was like, if I saw one of the stars from CSI, I'm guaranteeing you I was gonna run up to him, grab him around, throw him on the ground, and just say, ask him for an autograph. But it was just like, this is too surreal to be happening, but it's happening. We are here. We're right here live in LA. And so they said they would contact us, and the weeks passed, and the weeks passed, and no words from the network. And finally we got that call, and of course, oh my God, I just kind of fell to the ground because I was like, oh my God, I hope this is it. And they said, you know, the show had been scrapped. Wow. I mean, all that work, all that money, just kind of like put in on the shelf and kind of thrown away for no one ever to see. Nah, this show will probably never become a television deal. Well, we just don't think it's the perfect fit for VH1. What do you mean? Hair is big. You guys are crazy. This is an amazing project. You guys are sleeping on something awesome. No deal. 3-4 months later, I'm traveling overseas. At that point, I'm doing the Golden Scissors, Dominican Republic. So we're actually out of the United States, and so we're traveling, and I get the call, by the way, the show has just been picked up. What show? The show that was canned at VH1 that would never make it to a TV project has been picked up? Well, by who? Oh, Oxygen has just picked this show. Say what? Yeah, Oxygen has just picked up the television show. Okay, you're really playing with me now. Stop playing, because I know good and well Oxygen couldn't have picked up this show. Okay, am I in it? Well, we haven't made any final decisions, which needless to say you're not in it. Well, what is the show about? We're not quite sure, but you've taken all of my creative material and you've put it in there so that you can kind of dissect what you want, what you don't. You've utilized all of the creative material of all of our people who've kind of worked with us in the project, and you have it, I mean, because we've given it to you in the initial plot of this whole show, and you're just supposed to take it, deal with it. And of course, the stylist, of course, who becomes the judge, is the person you was running around the show, at our show, behind the scenes. We get no credit, no acknowledgement, no support, no nothing. Wow. Life is truly not fair, is it? But the show still must go on. Golden Scissors, still some 20 years later, still up and kicking. Well, I guess, if we had to talk about it, maybe how about the time that I was getting sued? That might be even a better opportunity in 20 years. I mean, really, you know, you dream of going to court for a settlement, not being sued. I guess that would probably be the strangest, you know, the weirdest. I mean, you know, I'm coming home one day and I'm just like getting ready to get into the house, and a guy pulls up in a black tinted window car, white gentleman, well dressed, well manicured, and says, by the way, can I ask you a question? It's like, I don't know who the hell he is. I don't know why he's on my street. I don't know why he's asking me a question. Weird, but anyway, whatever. Do you know Glynn Jackson? Sir? Me? Do I know Glynn Jackson? Absolutely not. I don't know who he is. Do you know what he looks like? That's what I said. He's like, no, I've never seen him. I say, well, look, if I see him anywhere around here, I'll be sure to tell him somebody's looking for him. And so I then went into the house, closed the doors, opened the curtains, and like he was still parked there. And every other day he would still come. Every other day he would come back. And finally I got on the phone with my mom. I said, Mom, I'm being stalked by a man. I don't know that that's me with a name. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. And finally, about 2 weeks later, I get these papers on my car saying you're being sued. I'm like, really? Yeah. For the tune of about $20,000. You're kidding me, right? This must be a joke, really. How can you sue me for something that I never signed for, I never orchestrated, I never implemented, but you're suing me? Really? So we go to court. I'm gonna win this hands down. You know, I don't know nothing about this. So when the lawyer comes in for the other side, I mean, she's like Korean, Gucci shoes, Louis Vuitton bag, a St. John suit. I mean, and I'm looking at my lawyer and her hair is looking like, okay, when was the last year you went to the hairstylist? So I'm like, oh my God, we're in trouble here, we're in trouble. So I can remember the lawyer saying on the other side, why would you keep sending stuff to Mr. Jackson if he never paid you? And I remember the other side saying, oh, based on his good name. I was blown away, literally blown away. Well, needless to say, I had to take that one for the team. It was a couple of $20,000+ but I took it in excellence. I kept moving and I kept doing the show. You know, the biggest misconception is people think that when you're doing something like a Golden Scissors, that you're doing this big, huge project, and people think you have all of this money, but they don't really know the ins and outs of what it takes to make anything work. When you're putting countless of hours into a project, it's almost so imperative that you stay focused to your goal. There have been many days I thought of not doing the Golden Scissors, but then what would have come of DC and these most amazing people and their amazing stories? What would have happened to the nation's capital in how we sketch the whole look of hair and how it is interpreted? I think each of us have a gift. And my gift probably would be the person to massage America and really show value. You know, this show has really been about restoring value to the hairstyling community, a community that generates over $1 billion+. Well, okay, yes, I've worked with everybody. Yes, P&G, Bijou, Sensational, Milky Way, all of the power players in the hair games. I've had some kind of experience. I think it's made me stronger as a person. I think I can say the bitter, the sweet, the good, the bad. I think when you go through something in your life that you love so much, it can sometimes be very painful. And some 20 years later, if I had to change something all over again, I think I probably would have done the same thing, and I probably would still be doing shows. I don't quite know if it would be about hair, but I know that this is where I'm in my comfort zone. So to all of the people that have helped in the culmination of 20 amazing years, I say thank you, without a doubt, thank you for making this year Hair Rage the biggest rage in hair. What's gonna happen next? Who knows?